Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with the Francis fam. They still keep coming back for episode 5 of Survivor. G Daddy, how are you doing today? And overall thoughts on the episode?
Oh yeah, I'm doing great. Number one, so great to be here on a Sunday here, actually in Las Vegas.
Woo!
Started to cool down a little bit, but yeah, no, it was a great show. I think this week, lots of twists and turns and so forth. So I think it's actually pretty exciting. With them right before the merge right now. So it was a great show this week for me, anyways.
Agreed. And Sheila, how are you feeling today?
Besides a massive headache, great.
Massive headache. Why?
No, I'm just saying, like, these episodes are so intense and so intertwined, and there's so many moving parts. It's like, wow, okay.
Do you think that it's because we are looking at it from a different lens now, that it's become a little bit more, less of just sitting back and watching what happens, but more so now analyzing it? Is that
Oh yeah, it's because I'm looking at every innuendo, every time someone says something, you're starting to think, why did they say that? What's behind it? Who does this impact? And it's like, oh my gosh.
See, that's my favorite part.
What's your favorite part?
My favorite part is the analyzing why everybody's doing what they're doing.
I'm starting to like it too, because I've got some skills to know what type of person they are and so forth. So I'm starting to look at it at that level now as well. Right? What are they really doing when they say stuff? So I'm looking not just at the content, but I'm looking at the context of the content now,
100%.
Which is pretty interesting. Hey, you had a great week this week, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I went to New York for Robinson Podcast, where I work as well. And so every once in a while, usually at least twice a season, we'll go to a city and we'll do a live event. And so basically we rent out a big theater. We watch the episode together. And then after, there's a live podcast with different, usually previous Survivor players. Now, all the actual Survivor 47 people are in the audience.
Oh, all of them?
Well, I'd say a good majority. I think there was maybe, I actually don't even know if I didn't see somebody. So, but we say it's their cousins. Their cousins were there
okay.
At the event. And so Angelique, my sister, your daughter, came with me because she lives in New York. And so she was also able to meet a lot of these cousins of Survivor 47 players, and then other previous players as well. So it was it was an awesome time. So
now, were the cousins talking?
Cousins, the first thing that Teeny's cousin did when she saw me was she came up to me and hugged me, and she's like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me for the fact that she knows that I'm friends with Asia, and because of her influence, she voted Asia out. So definitely had Teeny coming up to me and hoping for my forgiveness.
Oh, that must have been a fun time you had.
It was so good. It's so good. I know the next one that we're doing is going to be in Houston for the finale. But I believe there is talks of it being in Vegas sometime soon, but they're not sure. Wow. Maybe the where, or you know what I mean? Like it could be easy, but it's also hard in Vegas. Like, I know there's a lot of convention centers, but then like getting hotel arrangements and stuff like that. Yeah, there's lots of hotels, but like proximity and stuff like that. So I don't know if logistically how easy it is to kind of put together, but maybe you guys have some words of wisdom. We can get it to Vegas pretty soon.
I have had a thought just now on where, but it's up to you guys to do your thing. But yeah, we do have someone that's in the business of finding convention space and finding space for companies and so forth. So we do have a friend that does that.
Would it be like off strip or like on strip or near strip?
It would be like, they work with the hotels, all the different hotels. I'm thinking about a place that's off strip, though, that has a great little theater. Not a theater, but it's got a great conference room, stage. All the cameras are already there. So I'm kind of thinking of a place like that might be
How many people does it fit?
It holds about 300, 400 people.
I would need it to be bigger because we're like about 1,000 people.
How many?
1,000 people were in the audience of this last show.
Wow.
So it's a
Really?
pretty big turnout.
Wow.
I don't know if
okay.
it'd be the same for Vegas. Obviously New York has a lot of people that it's easy to
Everybody
get to.
wants to come to Vegas. Come on.
I mean, I do too. So would you guys come with me to the show?
If it's in Vegas, absolutely.
That would be so fun.
At least I would. Would you, Sheila?
I'm sorry?
Would you come to the show if it was in Vegas?
Of course. I'm a purist now.
That'd be fun.
I've joined the fold. I've caved.
Are you a super fan now, Sheila?
Pardon?
Are you now a super fan?
I don't know about. I'm getting there. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I don't want to label anything. I'm just enjoying it. But question, Chantele, in New York. So, was the potential winner amidst and had to stay quiet? Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, potentially.
Wow.
You could have been talking to the winner, and they're not going to indicate anything. Everyone has to stay. Wow, that's.
I'll say after the season ends, who I think might be the winner, just from being around them, because I've found that there is something. I call it kind of like an aura that it seems to be around the winners before I know that they've actually won the season.
Okay.
It seems like the cast members kind of gravitate towards them. People are always kind of around them. Oh. And so they don't say anything. There's nothing super obvious about who has won the game. But from noticing for a few seasons now, I think I have an idea of who might be the winner. But I'm not going to say anything until the end.
Does the winner hold court, so to speak?
Not that they're holding court, but I guess in a sense. But it just feel like they're like the nucleus, right? Or the sun, and everything's just revolving around them, and it's very subtle, but I think I know who the nucleus is of this season.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! And you're not going to reveal?
It's a guess.
Well, I don't want to reveal it just in case it's correct, and then it just might look negatively on the events. You know what I mean? So I'll keep it to myself until the end, and then I'll be like, I'll write it down on a piece of paper, and I'll show it to you so that it doesn't look like I just made it up.
So write it down on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and seal
Nail
it away.
It to yourself.
The great reveal at the end. Okay, perfect.
All right.
So we are transported back to Lavo after Teenie was blindsided by the Keyshawn vote. And now Rome is questioning Teenie for the fact that she didn't say anything about the fact that Keyshawn wanted to turn on Rome. Now, Rome definitely has the right to be upset here, but how do you feel about, Teenie at this point being on the bottom and Rome not really giving her any leeway?
Sheila?
Oh, me. That was a really tough spot for Teenie, I felt like, because she didn't have a vote. She had no power in this whole tribal at all. And so I think she was really in a tough spot. And, did she get herself out of it? No, because Rome is not going to have it. So I think that she was really in a tough place. I don't know what more she could have done, really.
Yeah. Do you think that that Teenie should feel on the bottom, or do you think that she has a way to get out of here, out of this spot?
Well, I think she's under Genevieve's wing right now, so she's kind of deferring to Genevieve, I think.
Teenie does say that she was told the plan, and I do think that this is a right angle for her to be able to be taking here. Obviously, we know Rome is not really having any of it, but she's like, I had no vote. Keyshawn was telling me what this plan was, so I just didn't do anything about it. You're shaking your head.
No, because it was so weak. I mean, Rome's not stupid. I mean, he's a smart dude. And for her to say, geez, I didn't have a vote. I wasn't here. I was told the plan. Well, still, you're told the plan. You should have ran over and told me if we're going to be an alliance. Why didn't you come and tell me? So I don't think it holds any water there. And also, we were talking about the fact that is she in the middle and all of that stuff. I thought that was really interesting with Genevieve, because, I mean, how can you have, she says that Rome and Saul are on the bottom and her and Teenie are in the middle. But what was interesting is that Genevieve said, hey, you're not on the bottom. You're in the middle with me. but she was saying who was where, and so she's obviously at the top. She's at the top. Teeny's in the middle, and Roman Sol at the bottom is basically what she was saying, right?
Well, I think you could also look at it like I totally agree there, but I think maybe she means in the middle. It's like me, like Teeny and Genevieve are able to choose whether or not they want to go with Rome or they want to go with Saul. So that in that way,
that's the middle.
In the middle. But in terms of positioning, she's at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, if she's going to say who's where, she's at the top, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I think that in relating to TD, she's saying that she's in the middle because them together can choose which way to go.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right with that because I heard that as well. That she was saying that we can go either way. But again, we can go either way. I'm telling you where we can go. We can go with him or we can go with him, but we're both in the middle. I mean, you can't have a middle without a top and a bottom. So I don't know how that works.
I think that she knows that she's on the top, but she's trying to play like she
right. That's what I felt. You and I are in the middle.
Yeah, we're in the middle. We can, we're working together here. I'm not pulling any strings. Yeah, I think she's definitely trying to appeal to Teeny and make it not feel like she's the one that's dictating what's going on here. But Rome D says the trust is 100% broken with Teeny. There's no way to fix it. Now, do we think that this is the best for Rome not to have any flexibility here or try to mend these fences? Like, do you think it should just be cut off cold turkey? Like, you're done, you screwed me over, it's over.
You talking to me or Sheila? Go ahead, Sheila.
Sheila, sure.
I just feel like Rome is very he was anti Saul, and then he kind of came around now because he'd rather play with Saul than Teeny right now because he's pissed at Teeny. So I feel like he very emotional, his decisions in this particular episode. And I mean, of course, Genevieve was like his best friend because she, showed true alliance. So I don't know. I just feel like he should probably look at how Teeny can improve his game or how Teeny can help him. But I think he's just, he wants nothing to do with her. She didn't support him. Genevieve did. And now he's going to get Saul and hope that the three of them can, make some moves.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He's totally butthurt right now. I mean, what I like about Rome is that he's trying to he's all about team is what I see. He's wanted to keep the team together. He's always been looking out for his little alliance. And when they didn't tell him that he was the plan, then that really hurt his feelings, I think. I don't want to go by what somebody else is feeling, but yeah, that definitely made him butthurt, I think.
Yeah, I do think that he was sore because as much as I've been frustrated with him and how he treated Saul and Asia, I do agree that he was doing everything for this group of four that he felt really strongly about, and those two people weren't in his four, and so that's why he kind of had them on the outs. And so, yeah, I definitely think that his heart is broken and he's not really happy with Teeny and Keyshawn trying to come for him and break up this foursome that he's been working so hard to keep intact. So we get to the challenge and everybody's noticing that there's only two tribes. There's no red. They're shocked that Keyshawn was voted out. This is going to be a reward challenge. So it's going to be 2 teams of 7 where they're going to compete, celebrate together at the sanctuary at the Survival for Social Hour. So, G-Daddy, what do you think of this as a twist? Because they're kind of like hyping it up as this twist that's happening. We've never done this before. It's just basically running 2 tribes and only one of the 2 tribes gets a reward.
Have they done this before or no?
They've done stuff that is similar. We've been calling it kind of mergatory, so they run it in 2 tribes, and then like the winning tribe will go to the sanctuary and be safe, and the other tribe goes to tribal council. Or there was the hourglass twist a few seasons ago where there was one person that was left out and they went to an exile type thing and they found an hourglass, and so when they broke the hourglass they were able to, the winning tribe became the losing tribe and they went to tribal council. So they've had variations of this, but the fact that there's no tribal with these 2 tribes, I guess, and then they're going back to the 3 tribes after, I guess, is the difference. And so it's just really more so information gathering for the winners and food. but it's not that out of the realm of possibilities of what has been done in the past.
Yeah, I thought it was great though, because with this particular challenge, then them getting that social hour, or what was it? They call it the social hour, right? The social
Yes,
hour.
Survivor social hour.
The
Yes.
social hour at the sanctuary. I thought it was a great opportunity for them to do exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Number one, you're going to make the people that didn't go a little unhappy because they don't know what's going on there. Obviously, they're not getting food. Obviously, so there's a lot of things involved there. But the people that got to go, they were able to gather information and they were able to spread misinformation if they chose. Right. So there was a lot of things that could have happened at the sanctuary that I think did happen. And we saw a lot of that in this game. So I thought it was a good little twist at that point because it made them work hard during the challenge and it mixed everything up. So I thought it was great.
Taj here wanted a tribe swap, which I kind of did as well. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of the 3-tribe format just because there's not a lot of room for strategy. If you're on the outs, it's really hard to gain numbers. In this new era, they're also allowing people to lose their votes really easily. And so that's super powerful in a smaller tribe. And so I would want a tribe swap just so there's more numbers for people to be able to play with if they're in hot water, they might be able to get out of it.
What is a tribe spot?
Tribe swap would be if the tribes that they were in for these two teams for this challenge, they were sticking to these two tribes now.
Oh, wow.
Right? Okay. Or sometimes they've done it, everybody would draw buffs and they'd go back and reshuffle 3 tribes. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
So reshuffling into 2 tribes and then that's your new tribes now.
So initially, that's what they probably thought when they were walking up, that we're going to have a tribe swap or something like that, because that's what they've seen. So this was a twist, right? They thought one thing and they got something else, right?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah, I guess it's a twist. Sheila, they're offering at the Survivor Social Hour hot dogs, cornhole, and opportunity to form bonds. How would you rank those 3 things that you get to do over at the Social Hour?
Listen, playing the game is the most important. The hot dogs, okay. They're reminding them that they're in the game of Survivor, and there's no big Las Vegas buffet for them at this social hour, and there's no happy hour. So it's a pretty lame social hour, but what the intel that they can gain and the relationships they can make with the other players pre-merge, because we know that that's coming. It was just a real tease for them all. To get their feet into other, or learn about what's going on other tribes, and also to gain intel on what's going on, just so that when the merge happens, they kind of have some, history of what's going on. So I think it's really important for the people that went and the people that were left behind, distinct disadvantage, because when they come back, you don't know if they're telling you the truth or not.
And they also don't have the opportunity to strategize or meet even people from the other tribe. They're going back to their own tribe. So it's definitely, I agree, huge advantage. I would not be playing cornhole. I would eat the hot dogs, I guess. But
you mean you'd eat the hot dog?
The hot dog, the dry hot dog. No condiments. Yes, Taj. No condiments with a dry hot dog. Fun.
No, it looked like they were trying to get that bread down here with that soda. That one soda. But here's the thing. Sheila and I are both, as you know, vegetarians, right? So we would definitely go for the veggie dog, but that didn't even look that great. What kind of vegetables were in that?
I don't think there's any vegetables.
If you put it into perspective, this was day 10. They haven't had real food for 10 days. So it's got to have been good. You're not going to complain. It's something.
No.
Right. It's calories, but yeah, one hot dog. Come on.
It's hot dog or chicken.
They had Applebee's last time, right?
Right. I think they might have an Applebee's
for her, some kind of burger, and she went fit because she couldn't get a burger with the fries and all of that stuff. but these guys got a hot dog, so yeah, a little different, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there might be better rewards later, and clearly this wasn't a sponsored reward because like they did not make whoever made those hot dogs very appetizing.
It wasn't sponsored by soda.
Exactly. What is soda?
That was the product placement, soda.
Exactly. So they didn't want to be paying anybody to have their product on this episode. So basically the teams are into blue and yellow. So on the blue tribe is Annika, Sol, Rome, Gabe, Andy, Sierra, and Genevieve. And then on yellow is Sue, Kyle, Teeny, Sam, Rachel, and Tiana. And who's that last person? I can't remember their name. Oops, I can't remember. So basically they had to like crawl under this contraption. They had to find 3 keys to unlock this ladder. Then they had to maneuver this ladder through this maze. And then find more balls and throw these balls into a net. Definitely very challenging with low calories. Hard to work together with that many people as well, and also new people that you have not worked yet. But Yellow was able to win the Survivor Social Hour. So how did you find this challenge? Did you think it was fun? Was it easy to watch? Could you tell who was going to win? Were you rooting for a team? G-Daddy?
Oh, me? I thought you were going to go to Sheila. No, I didn't. I wasn't rooting for any team because the teams were all mixed up, so I wasn't rooting for anybody on the challenge. I just thought it was an interesting challenge, them trying to get the ladder through, and then is that the one? That's the one with the balls, right? They had to take the balls and put them in the net and so forth. So it was pretty close, I thought, overall. And some people could shoot, some people couldn't shoot, but I thought it was a good challenge overall, and I wasn't rooting for anybody at that point. I mean, I'm not rooting for anybody, period, right? So
no,
not really, not at this point. Maybe when we get to the merge, but right now I'm
not. Are you rooting for maybe a tribe?
Not at this point, no.
No, Sheila,
no,
do you have any favorites?
The game. I'm just watching the game, basically.
But you don't like. I was told, and then I was seeing also from your social media, Sheila, that you guys are big Knights fans. So
of course, we live in Las Vegas. Of course, we're Knights fans, home of the Stanley Cup champions. Of course,
Sheila's more Knights fan than me. I tell you that right now. Sheila's the Knights fan.
Angelique was telling me that you're a super fan, and I'm like, what? Like, since when? And then I see all your posts on your social media. I was like, whoa! Like, I did not know. So
she is a super fan.
It's a recent development. Recent development.
Recent development over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Okay. And they've had a team for 8 years, so I didn't jump into the fray right away. I kind of, But I'm a fan. I love it.
Year, I think we became a fan, right? I mean, a real fan.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't. When we watch
growing
a
up
game.
in Toronto, I mean, I grew up in a hockey household. My father watched the Hockey Night in Canada. Like, it was a big thing, and I hated hockey because I had to grow up in that environment. But now I appreciate the game. I appreciate the skill, and I love the Golden Knights. So yeah.
So
absolutely.
You don't have a favorite tribe right now on Survivor. It hasn't had the same effect on you.
Tribe, not so. I mean, Genevieve is my girl. She's smart. She's just really clever. And I just think I really like her gameplay right now.
I'm watching Angelique. I'm watching Chantel's face here, so I'm not sure. I mean, you had something going on there when she said that.
Oh well, there's I was going to share this tomorrow, but so JoJo is my friend that I went with to the event, and his best friend actually went to high school with Genevieve, and so I just had heard some stuff about Genevieve that I'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, what a tease. You're teasing.
So stay tuned, right?
I love the tease. But yeah, so it just was, it was just interesting hearing a little bit about Genevieve because she went to high school in Oakville. And so,
in Oakville.
And so then since then she's moved to the west, where is she in? Winnipeg, I think. So
where's she in Winnipeg? Yeah.
I believe it's Winnipeg.
Okay.
Just a lot out there.
Wow. Okay.
So then you're rooting for Genevieve, but then tribe-wise also Lavo, or do like another tribe.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they're not going to be around for much longer. So I'm not really focusing on the tribes as a whole because they're temporary, right?
Sure.
When the merge happens, then it's one tribe, and to me, that's when the game begins. If you can get to that point, then it's like, everything goes into it. I mean, not to say that they're not right now, but I just find like right now, everyone's just kind of like, just got to get to the merge. They're all hanging on just to get to the merge. And then, that's when they can really make some moves and stuff like that.
I definitely think that's
right now is my standout.
I agree. I mean, I think that move that she made last episode was amazing. I think I was saying that it was probably the best episode and the best blindside in the new era. I thought it was pretty masterful. Like, I was like, she was invisible for the first couple episodes, and then she had her coming out party. So I thought, I definitely thought she was a standout for the first, out of everybody on this season so far, big standout for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So over at the Survivor Social Hour, they're having soda, as you mentioned, grilled hot dogs. There's a veggie dog there for Kyle. This is the happiest that he has ever been for food, ever. Like, they must be hungry.
It's easy to please.
I mean, couldn't they give them like a little ketchup, a little mustard, like nothing? The soda.
Well, even one little ketchup to share between all of them, you mean? Or one? Actually, no. A lot of people don't use ketchup, but the one mustard that they can all share and get a drop of it on, or something.
Maybe, but I just dry hot dog bun. Taj says this moment for Kyle was so cute. Yes, it was cute. He was very excited about his hot dog, his veggie dog. So Teeny decides to share some information, talking about how they all voted together and she was the one that was left out of the group. I think this was smart of Teeny to say because she does feel like she's on the outs here. She's hoping now to be scooped up if she makes it to the merge, that people realize like, oh, she's on the outs. Let's bring her in for a number. And so I think that it was smart just to kind of let people know her position here, especially because I don't think she had anybody else from her tribe that was.
No one else was there. So she had the opportunity to say whatever she wanted. No one else could come and contradict whatever she said. So she was in a good place to be able to say whatever she wanted at that social. And no one else at this point anyways would be able to doubt her when she got back. But of course, going into the merge, they would have found out, what she said. But she did basically tell the truth when she got back. But yeah, I thought she was in a good place, definitely at that point. And she let everyone know she's on the bottom, so I'm available at the merge, guys. Come and get me.
Yeah, come on, work with me here. I got nobody. Rachel is really excited about this opportunity to be able to bond with people, which I think is also good, like using this as a great time to build these bonds. And what I think it's also really good for, it allows you to start strategizing now that you know maybe the vibe of the other people and kind of their thoughts around the game. What they're sharing with you is still information, whether it's true or not. And so you can get a sense of whether somebody's trustworthy, whether you want to work with them, whether they're telling the truth about what's going on with their tribe dynamics. And I think it would really useful to be able to start planning how you're going to forage through the merge portion of the game. So yeah, I think it's like a really big opportunity. And I think the fact that Rachel's talking about it, I think it's going to bode well. We're going to see why she was so happy about having formed some of these relationships. So I look forward to seeing how that flourishes. Sam says that their tribe is the Kumbaya tribe, the yellow tribe, but Sue decides to break up that Kumbaya moment of Sam by saying like, oh, we hear that you and Sierra are running things. Nobody's actually said that. Is that just their perception or did Andy say that when he went to the journey?
I think Andy had thrown that out. Yeah, he threw it out when the three of them went to, I think it was who was it now? It was Teeny, Caroline, and him. That's when that came out. I believe
say that?
Right? I think so. But that has come out definitely that they're running things a little bit earlier on in the season. That they're running things, so that was out there already when they got back to Sue. So
maybe it was the fact that they were like everybody thinks that they're a couple, and like maybe then now people are conflating that into meaning they're running things. But I don't know if he exactly said that, but I actually should go back and look. Do you remember?
Funny
Sheila?
thing is, they are running things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
factual. So Tiana says that Gabe has been out there looking for idols. He played an idol at the first tribal council. Sam was shocked by this news and
Well,
information.
hold on a second. Tiana did not say that. Tiana started off and she said that he's always out there looking for idols and he's not trustworthy and all of those things. And she said that because
Kyle said that he found and played the idol. Yeah, sorry.
Right. So no one is picking that up. It was actually Kyle that said, hey, he found an idol and played it. And then Sam was like, really? Oh, right. He had that. He did? He played it? Meanwhile, he's got an idol in his pocket, right?
He was very shocked by it. And
that was great acting, right?
You know what? I agree with you that I was surprised by that for that moment because Sue noticed that Tiana had said something and immediately clocked in that Tiana's being disloyal to the tribe, but did not clock that Kyle also was being disloyal to the tribe, which is interesting because she has a bone to pick with Kyle still, I thought. Why is Tiana somebody that she's flagging before Kyle in a very similar situation? Sheila,
I didn't get that. What do you think, Sheila, on that? I didn't get that. I mean,
Yeah,
I got that part. I did get that part, but what's your opinion on that, Sheila?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of not talked about it, but I thought about that because why did Sue not zero in and throw Kyle under the bus? She had an opportunity. He was the one that outed that information, but she didn't do that. And I'm thinking, so what does that mean? Like that's where the headache starts. Because it's like, what was she thinking there? Why throw Tiana under the bus? Because Tiana started it, but Kyle's the one that kind of really gave
the real information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And I think that, with Tiana, Tiana thinks that she had, at that point, her alliance was there anyways, right? So her alliance being Kyle and Caroline and Sue. That's her alliance, basically, that she thinks that they have, right? And so, not necessarily Caroline, but no, that's not true. Caroline. So the three girls, and
because it's supposed to be that whole girl boss power vibe, and so Tiana's thinking that throw the person that's not part of the girl boss, energy under the bus.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Not having it.
Mm-hmm.
Sue was not having it and was shocked that she was revealing such information about her Gabe. And I get it. She has a soft spot for Gabe, and he's really brought her under his wing and has been wanting to work with her from day one, giving her all this information. And Tiana hasn't. But Tiana doesn't have all the information either, and so she doesn't fully know that she can't trust you with what she says. She does think that she's working with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do think it was that maybe Tiana should have been a little more tight-lipped about that information. Sheila, would you be spilling that?
Yeah, I think that I think that all this, her outing Gabe like that is going to come back to her in the merge if she's there. But
yeah,
because it's going to get back to Gabe. Well, it obviously got back to Gabe already. But it's just everyone's going to know that she did that. I don't know. I don't think it's really going to help her that much in the long run, but I could be wrong.
Unless it makes her look like she's on the outs, kind of like a teeny situation, and then she can maybe, if she makes it there, move, with another group of people, with another tribe, become two more numbers there. So maybe, but I don't know. I think she should have been a little more tight-lipped and gather more information than give up so much information. Mm-hmm. So back at Lavo, Rome is having a bit of a tough time with his loss. So he decides to have a chat with Saul. I was like, wow, okay, you're having a chat with Saul here. He's growing. He's turning over a new leaf here with before he was trying to prevent Saul from finding an idol, and now he's willing to have a conversation with him. So
now, was it Saul that said, "Hey, do you want to have a chat," or was it Rome? I think it was Saul. I think it was Saul that said, "Do you want to have a chat?"
I feel like Saul said, "Yeah, sure."
No, I think that was Rome. I think that says, "Do you want to have a chat?" But hey,
I
mean, I'm not sure if you really saw it, but that's what I thought. As Saul said, "Do you want to have a chat?" And he said, "Okay."
Okay, well, either way,
Yes.
Rome agreed with having a chat.
Mhm.
So Rome tells Saul everything that Teeny's done about the amulet, and Saul is completely shocked. So Rome right now, like his long-term plan is going to be Saul here, and Saul's feeling like he hasn't known anything. He feels himself as to be a strong person in his career, being able to read people, and he doesn't know anything. He got a big slice of humble pie, and when we kind of come back, Jen talks to Rome, and Genevieve says that she doesn't want to work with Saul long term. And Rome says this to Saul. I mean, this was a bit convoluted. Sheila, you probably were like, "What? Who said what to whom?" It was a little bit convoluted, but Rome is doing a lot of talking. G-Daddy, do you think that Rome has finessed the situation well?
Well, in this situation, I think he made a big faux pas, the huge faux pas, because his number one was really supposed to be Genevieve, and his number four is supposed to be Saul, and they're telling Saul that Genevieve said that she doesn't want to really work with you long term. So for him to give that to Saul, he's really breaking a lot of trust with Genevieve, and we saw what happened when Keyshawn broke that trust, right? So Genevieve now is not happy with Rome. So I thought that was a big mistake that Rome did to go and give Saul that information. Teeny is one thing. Teeny's got these. We got to focus on Teeny. That's one thing. But to basically throw Genevieve under the bus with Saul, I thought that was a really bad move.
Especially since what does Saul have to lose by outing the information that you're giving him?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. So, I mean, I think that Rome could have acquired the same amount of whatever word I'm looking for with Saul. Like he could have gained that without outing Genevieve. I think that he could have gotten the same result. Him feeling confident, being like, "Oh my God, he's giving me so much information." Instead, it's kind of put some distrust. It's allowed Genevieve, who's running the tribe, to basically be like, okay.
Well, let me ask you a question then. So, what do you think if Rome had not said that Genevieve was not wanting to work with Saul long term? If that was out of the conversation, do you think Genevieve would have had the same reaction that she had when Saul and her were talking?
Well, because it was true. That's the problem.
Well, no, that was true. But without that, so if it was only, hey, yeah, I talked to Rome, and he wants to get Teeny out, and he said that Teeny's got three, or part of this three little idol thing. Do you think that at that point Genevieve would have been, upset with Rome at that point for saying that?
No, I don't think that I think that it would play into her being able to decide what she wants to do, who she wants to go with, because she says that she wants to be with Teeny. Her and Teeny are in the middle, and it's the bottom is Saul and Rome. And it seems like Saul is actually the bottom, then it would be Rome, and then it would be Teeny. It seems like that's what Genevieve actually wants. And so I think that keeping that as an option, basically, that Saul is willing to do what she wants to do, depending on, who wins immunity and all that stuff, or like if anyone has any power. I think that she wouldn't be so quick to turn on Rome. I think that she'd be more likely to go with whatever her plan was. So likely be Saul.
Yeah, right now I feel like she's got more of a connection with Saul, personally, because Saul came and fed her information basically just now, right?
Well, and now I think it's shifting even more. But I think before, I think she might have felt, because I think she even said in one of her confessionals that she feels that she can work with Teeny a lot more easily than Rome, at least. So I think then that also would apply for potentially with Saul, because like Rome was giving her all the information. So I think it's whoever gives her the most information that doesn't tank her game is going to be in her better books. So right now, I think Rome is on the outs. Sheila, do you have any thoughts about that whole fiasco?
I think that, I don't know. I mean, she came to Rome and told him what was going on, right? And so she was like Rome's number one, right? Like she protected me But then for him to turn and do that to her with Saul, I just thought, what's the point? Like, I thought that, is he not really feeling that comfortable with her as like they're running it? Like, does he not feel that? Because why would he do that? Why would he throw her under the bus like that, other than to gain Saul's trust and so forth? But I feel like that was a big move for him, for Saul's trust. I don't know. I just didn't really understand what he was doing.
I think actually now it just popped into my head that maybe Saul his ego need to be fed here. I think he wants to feel like he's in more control. And so I think that him showing Saul that I have all the knowledge, maybe it was for him to appear like he's the one that has the most control in the tribe.
No, I think that, basically he says it. When you give information, that's how you gain trust. So information is currency, right? So it's a currency that he was using with Saul. I'm going to give you this information. You're going to give me back your trust.
But at what expense? I mean, at what expense? Is it more powerful for him to stay good with Genevieve rather than I don't know, because now that's what was the red flag for Genevieve, and she's like, his value, he's more dangerous now to me than he was before, and suddenly the tables are turning, and so he created that.
Yeah,
and then Rome tells Genevieve that Saul was pitching Teeny, which I don't think that was actually truthful, right? I think he was just saying that just to like stir the pot a little bit.
Who said what? Sorry.
That Rome wants Teeny gone, and then he also said that Saul was pitching Teeny to him.
Right, that was incorrect. It was the other way around, right? Rome was pitching Teeny to Saul.
Yeah.
And so that's when Saul said that he was pitching Teeny to him, to Genevieve.
That's what Genevieve's like.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think when Rome went back to Genevieve, she said at that point, right, that Rome said at that point that he was pitching Teeny heavy, right, and that was a mistruth.
Definitely. Genevieve says that Rome is being very, very naughty. I laughed.
A naughty boy.
Naughty Rome. And so she's figuring out that Rome might not be the person to be trusted here. And he's not of use to her anymore if he's spilling her plans and her information to other people. So the scales be tipping. The episode title here was said by Genevieve this episode.
Yep.
Yes,
and they could just be tired of Rome too. They could be just done with him. Like,
I would have Rome fatigue.
The chaos. They just she's just looking for a good reason now. I don't know. And most people will agree because he's a bit much.
So Jojo was sitting beside Rome's sister, and so her sister's not a fan of the season or of the show in general, and so she's watching it and she's like, I don't understand, why doesn't anybody like my brother? And he was feeling so bad because he's like, well, he's just not necessarily treated, but it's just a character of him on the stage. And actually, if I have my phone here, I'll show you that I ended up having a conversation with Rome.
Oh,
wow.
And he's like, there's so many nice things that I did, like that they didn't show me doing in the game and on the season. And I think there was one time where I think it was Genevieve was sick and he was helping her when she was sick. Just different moments where he was showing compassion and kindness. And I'm like, but what they have shown, you just haven't been super kind to, we'll just say Asia and Saul. And Asia's part of this community, and so you're at an event where it's all people that super love, but nobody was mean to him in the game. But
so Asia didn't confront him.
Asia was there, or Asia's cousin was there, but did not that I see confront him. No, I did not see that. I didn't see them nearby at all. But actually, I'll show you my two photos that I have here. I only ended up taking two photos, unfortunately. I just forget. I always forget. So one photo that I did take.
Oh yeah, there you go. Saul, he's pretty happy.
So we're using that photo because Asia hadn't landed yet, and so Saul's like, okay, let's take a photo and send it to Asia so Asia can get to the event. And then where's my other one? of.
Was Andy's cousin there?
Andy's cousin was there. Yes.
So Chantele, have they done this always in the past where they do these mid-season events? Because to me, it would be weird to see all these guys there and one of them is the winner and they all know what happened. It's for them to expose themselves like that. That just seems wild to me.
I mean, they, I guess, are practiced because, you know, they've been off the show. I think it ended in May. I think they came home. So they've had a few months to probably get used to not talking about it. And, you know, yeah, I mean.
I'm sure they're under NDAs, right? So
exactly. Like, it's probably a few $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
That's great. I assume he was bouncing around the room, no doubt.
Well, he was just kind of doing a little bit of damage control. So, like, he was just kind of explaining to me, you know, I'm a nice guy. And I'm like, well, there's just certain things that you've done that I'm not happy, like I wasn't happy about, but I do appreciate that you're a character on a show. They're showing you in a certain light. They're building a storyline. And so I don't hold you to everything that we've seen you doing on the show. I don't completely say that that's your entire character or whatever. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And it's like, okay, but I still don't want you to win, but yeah. Oh, yeah. You're good to have a good time. No time for photos. Exactly. Never any time for photos, especially with people's cousins. Who cares about the cousins, right? We see over at Gata, part of the losing team. They're trying to catch fish with a net. Have you ever caught fish with a net? Either of you, or with a spear, or anything like that? I've never. Have you ever gone fishing?
I've never gone fishing. I'm not a fisherman.
Never done a gill net, so no. That's like you know, a whole nother world of fishing.
Well, that wasn't quite a gill net, right? So that
kind of. It was like a long net that they didn't know what to do with.
Well, I think a gill net is where it's a little bit bigger and the head goes through and it can't come back. Right?
Oh.
Right, so it wasn't a gill net, but
I was going to call you the smarty pants person doing a gill net. Like, I'm like, what's a gill net? Just throw it out.
Like a big net that you put it underwater and the fish swim along, not knowing what's going on, and they end up getting stuck in the net.
And I guess it would be their gills getting caught
without a rod.
That makes sense.
Whatever they had, though, I don't think that they gave them that to fish with, because, I mean, it to me, it wasn't long enough. I don't know how they're going to catch fish with that. So I don't think that was the intention for them to catch any fish with whatever that net was.
Or maybe it's to try to get a trap, make a trap, or maybe crabs. Yeah. I didn't notice how big the holes were, but
maybe so they could play volleyball. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's what I thought, actually.
I know, like, what do you do?
Let's get some games going here.
So Sam and Rachel do return. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, let's get some games going here, to some volleyball and waste our energy, right?
Or they could have made a hammock out of it.
Hammock, maybe. I feel like it might be weak, but that could be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam and Rachel return, and Sam tells everyone what Sue was saying, the comment they had about Sierra and him running things. And so then we see Sam telling Sierra. Well, no, he's not telling them, the group, about Sue's comment, but he does go and tell Sierra about Sue's comment about the running things. And so, I mean, it's good that he knows to keep some information to himself. And I do like the fact that he's being quite loyal to his number one here and being like, listen, I didn't say that because it's not going to put us in a good light with the rest of our tribe. Mm-hmm. And so this is the real information. This is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly's here a little bit behind, thinking of an alternate reality where a villain player eats Kyle's veggie dog on purpose. Can you imagine? I've seen things like that happen before. That would be
someone else grabs it.
Like they take somebody else's food, where like they're the only ones that can eat a certain thing, and then somebody else just eats that option. I've seen it happen before. That'd be terrible. But I think Kyle would probably be easygoing about it, but some other people, maybe not. Maybe not. Teeny is back over with Lavo, and she didn't really share any information. She said that she was going to be a little bit cagey about the information that she was sharing. She thought that she did a good job, but Rome has got her clocked and is not giving her any leeway here, as to be like, you could have brought back a little bit more information than that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is true. She could have figured out something else to bring back that could be a little more satisfying.
Yeah, she was the only one there out of from Lavo, and she's got 6 other players there that she could have gathered more information from. But she whatever she gathered, she didn't share. Let's put it that way.
None of it.
But she did share that she did not tell them that Rome stole Keyshawn's vote. So she did not tell him that, and she shared with Rome, "Hey, I didn't tell him that." Right, so she did share that.
which is good. But then we see Teeny, Genevieve, and Saul talking about how Rome was going off when she was gone, and told her that Rome shared with Saul about her amulet. And so at this point now it looks like Rome is officially on the outs with Lavo.
Yeah, he was hangry. You know, he was hangry. I mean, he wanted food, and he didn't get to go there. I didn't get to go, and Teeny went, and he was not
information.
Happy.
Yeah. Yesenia said Liz would not let it go. Absolutely, Kelly. Liz would be the person that would not let it go if her meal that she could only eat was taken up by somebody else. She would not let it go at all. I met her cousin as well. She's really teeny. She's also a teeny. Teeny's teeny, and Liz is teeny.
Liz is teeny too?
Yeah, super small and teeny.
Undersized.
Undersized. Sue tells Gabe what Tiana said. I'm like, Sue, I mean, I know that you're doing this to protect Gabe, and I think it actually is a smart move maybe to gain trust with Gabe, but I might want to keep those numbers going into the merge, which is what Caroline is thinking. It's like, listen, we want to be going into the merge strong. 5 strong into the merge is great. If there's an outlier here that everybody's going to want to try to pick up, being Tiana, because you're creating this kind of rift, it could come back to bite us in the butt. So I think it's very smart that Caroline is afraid of Gabe losing all of his trust in Tiana. And so Caroline wants Tiana to come clean with Gabe about what she said at the happy hour. Sheila, do you think this was the right angle for Caroline to go? How do you feel about how she's handling
this? I like Caroline. She's super smart. Caroline is very strategic. She's very good. She's right up there, I think, with Genevieve as far as knowing what's going on. And, she's very, very strategic. So, I mean, I think her counsel was good. I mean, the merge is a lot of stuff's going to come out at the merge that if they think that it's, quiet now, when people get together, they're going to reveal stuff that happened. So I feel like that was good advice. I don't know if it is, but I thought for Caroline to tell Tiana that it was good. And Tiana picked up on it and said, if I don't do it, then, I have to do it because they're going to think I'm not listening. So.
Yeah, and yet still she didn't do it. So whatever. I mean, I agree with you as far as Caroline when she said, I got to go do it. Right. So she, aligned with Caroline. I'm going to go do it. And she went in to do it, but she didn't do it.
She didn't do it.
And Gabe's so salty anyway. So I don't know.
She didn't do it fully. She said she lied.
She said that she had one-on-one conversations with people and mentioned that. And when in turn, it was the fact that she said it in front of the whole group.
In front of everybody. She said that she was speaking with 2 people. I think it was Rachel and Caroline, maybe she said. But then she said it to everybody. She said it. She held court, and she couldn't wait to say it. So, yeah, I mean, that's a big faux pas at that point because, hey, listen, what's Gabe going to do? He's going to go fact check, right?
Absolutely.
So he goes back
with the people that he trusts more than her.
Yeah, exactly. So he fact checks, finds out what really went on, and then now he's really got distrust for her. So that was a big mistake. If she would have told him the full truth, that might have been better. But he still would have, of course, mistrust her at that point. But she went worse and actually lied again, twice.
You're not a fan of Tiana's gameplay, it seems.
Well, no. I mean, Yeah, I guess not.
What was she doing though? What was she trying to accomplish? Be throwing Gabe under the bus like that just to get him as a target for the merge?
Target
Yeah,
when we get to the
target the
merge, right?
merge.
Get some make him a target when they go to the merge, right? So people are not going to trust him because he's out there looking for idols and, he's not to be trusted. So she really planted a lot of seeds into their minds when it comes to the merge, right? So I think that she did a great job there. But I think that she made a huge mistake because who she thought was her alliance was not really her alliance.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to open your mouth in front of a group of people when you don't know if you could fully trust anyone. Even the people that weren't from her tribe that are hearing this information, what if they want to work with Gabe more than you? And they decide to be like, oh my gosh. So when we did the Survivor Happy Hour, Tiana threw you under the bus. Like, if they're trying to save themselves, any information is good information. And so I think that she should have maybe kept that to herself, and maybe at the merge time when she's trying to build some bonds and relationships, maybe share that actually one-on-one, in those situations. But I think it was definitely a faux pas, misplay, and then not to be completely transparent when it's so easy for it to be fact checked. That definitely another misplay on Tiana's behalf here. So Gabe says he wants to crush her Survivor dreams. Like, he is not buying any of it. He's very mad with Tiana, and I worry for Tiana because Gabe has numbers. He has he finds idols.
That was one of my thoughts, though. Is it possible that he found an idol
and they
didn't show it? Is that possible?
Yeah, it's very possible.
So while
since he was by himself, right?
Say again? Oh, at the
when they were at social hour, he could have easily
found one. Could he have found one and the show didn't show that he found one? Is that possible?
Yes. So they started been doing these flashbacks in these past few seasons, and so I think it was 41 where they had someone find an idol, but we did not have any idea that he found the idol until he had to say the silly limerick, like line, and so he said the line, and we're like, oh, he said the line of the person that found the beware idol. And so then they did a flashback of seeing when he actually found it. So it's very possible that he's found the idol, but it hasn't come into the storyline yet, so they haven't showed it.
Yeah, I'm curious because obviously he was looking, I think, anyways. He was looking.
I don't think that he's going to allow it. Wait, no. Sue found it.
Oh, that's right. So Sue already had it, right?
So she might have been looking for it.
Because I forgot about that. Sue was sitting there with an idol in her pocket at social hour. That's right.
Yeah, so Sue found it. I totally forgot. Remember, we got red-handed. And then Sam has the one still at Gata. And then there's one to be found again at Lavo. So that maybe Rome has found that again, because I don't think it's been refound, because remember they were circling and trying to keep Saul away from it, and so we haven't seen it. If anybody's found it, I think
he would definitely have been looking for it at some point there too, Rome.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, I totally forgot. Miss Brown Sugar. Doubtful Sue found the idol on their camp last week, so probably aren't too hidden. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally just forgot.
Yeah, so it would be interesting if Rome was going looking for an idol and Saul was following him around. I'm not going to let you look.
So Gata brings their 3 chickens to the challenge to propose a negotiation. They would like to get, they had some eggs from these chickens, 3 eggs in total, but 2 of them broke. So they are just not happy with waiting for these chickens to lay eggs. And so instead they would like to trade the chickens for 24 eggs. They make a negotiation, or he pitches 15 eggs, they say 20, and they come to a negotiation at 18 eggs waiting for them back at camp. Good negotiation. Was this a smart thing to do, Sheila?
Well, no one wanted to kill them and clean them, so they're not going to be eating the chickens. Chickens weren't giving them eggs, which originally I thought, yeah, you keep the chickens and you eat the eggs and they keep producing. That's good. As it gets closer to merge, you start, eating them and you're good. But I feel like no one wanted to do that. So yeah, why not see what you can get? The merge is coming up. So get some eggs and, get yourself full before the merge. So it made sense. I think that they did well. Jeff was generous, I felt.
He was really generous. I was surprised by how generous he was.
He was like in a good mood. I like a negotiation. I like a negotiation.
Well, because if you remember, the new trope, and they might even still do it this season, is where he has like that bag of rice negotiation where he like cuts the bag of rice and the rice starts falling, and how many of you are going to step forward and step out of this immunity challenge for some rice or whatever. So he does love a negotiation. Yesenia says, good, merge on the horizon, and they don't want to eat chickens. Yes. Well, I think it's the killing the chicken.
Damn it. I mean, someone could have done it. I mean, there's got to be someone there that could have killed it. I mean, Andy could have done it. Look at Andy. He could have done it. He could have killed him with the saw. Like, just get not the saw.
Using the dull end.
The knife. No, with the knife.
Oh, the knife.
He could have
killed the
chicken. The knife on the rice bag to grab that chicken.
They would all be covered in blood, like all the red paint that Sue was covered in.
No, but the chicken's going to give more calories, more sustenance. Yeah. I mean, kill the chickens. I mean, that's what I said last week, right? Yeah, kill the chickens, eat the chicken. Well, I wouldn't kill the chickens, but I would eat it. Even though I'm a vegetarian, I would eat it.
Yeah, I would eat it in the game. I don't think I could have a part in killing it. I could maybe help clean it, but I couldn't kill it. Ooh. All right, we're at the immunity challenge, and they basically have to cut down these coconuts and sandbags, fill their heavy net, and then drag this heavy net around with them while picking up more coconuts along the way. Then with the coconuts, or sandbags, they're going to be knocking down these puzzle blocks. Once they knock them all down, then they have to rebuild the puzzle. Annika and Sue are sitting out of the challenge. This was pretty neck and neck for between the two tribes, but poor Andy couldn't get them off to a good start. Which was it obvious to both of you where the blade was on where this contraption, this tool to cut the rope? Was it obvious? I thought it wasn't that obvious, but
no, I mean I couldn't see obviously, but I mean he picked it up. He should have known. He should have known what the tooth end is of the saw, right? So it's kind of obvious, isn't it? Which end's the tooth end, which end's not the tooth end.
Well, yeah, the silvery end likely is going to be the knife end, but I could see by the shape of it how it could maybe be. I'm just giving him. I love Andy, baby Andy. His nickname.
He really. I mean, if we're talking about that right now, I mean, he really gave it he really went for it, man. I mean, he put his entire body into it. His entire body was into it, and he's trying to cut it. And it wasn't working. He needed to do the long stroke. He was just doing like this. He needed to do a longer stroke on the right end of the blade, and he would have done better off it. He worked hard at that. It was not moving.
Well, yeah, he should have worked smarter, not harder. Because if it was like a little bit more measured, longer, then it would have sawed through more quickly, and the rope wouldn't be moving as much as well. So it'd be easier to get it back on the same spot. So he even says it later on himself that he's not great at these challenges. So
he says it's obvious now that we know that he's not great at challenges or something like that, right? So yeah.
Not so great. So I was like, oh boy, Andy's sawing on the wrong side of the tool. Poor Andy.
And here's the thing that I thought. I thought that Annika and everybody else should have started cheering for Andy. Like, go Andy! He needed the chair. Andy.
I think they gave it to him a little bit. Sam was a little bit like, he was kind of upset. But I heard a few. You can do it.
You heard that?
I think so. Maybe I'm making it up.
They needed to be cheering, I think.
So the hardest part was knocking down these puzzle pieces. It seemed like, first off, it was hard to start them from falling over. Like the first hit, I think Tiana was the one that threw, and it bounced right off of the piece and like did not move a piece at all. So when they finally got the hang of it, they kind of had to start on the outsides and like see if you could chip it away that way. it was all on a platform, and they had to be completely off the platform, which made it exceptionally difficult when they started to be bunched up against the side of the wall. How do you like these mechanics of this part of the game? Because I was like, man, that's really hard to get the last puzzle piece that's kind of bunched together off the platform in order for you to be rebuilding. So
yeah, it was tough. I mean, yeah, because they were like back to back, and there's nowhere for that piece to go. So, you're throwing stuff at it to move it, but it's kind of wedged in there. So, yeah, I mean, depending on how the pieces fall and their proximity to each other, and how much they're still on the platform and how much needs to be pushed off, it's like there's a lot of variables. So it's not like straightforward. If you toss it off the platform, you're good. That's not necessarily the case. So I think it's just comes down to luck at that point, if your pieces fell in such a way that it's easier to get it off the platform. But yeah, that was tough. And it didn't seem like the pieces were that, like, they were sticky or they didn't fly or something, but it was tough. It was a tough challenge, I found.
Now, I wonder if that was just it happened in this challenge, and like they didn't foresee them having this much trouble, because I feel like they would have known that this would be an issue with the weight of the puzzles and like having that be the rule that they had to be completely off. I wonder if it was just they do have people testing it. The Dream Team tests these challenges, and maybe this scenario didn't come up, but I thought that it made it very difficult for, I think it was Lavo that had trouble getting all the pieces completely off the platform, but not Tuku. Tuku is able to get them off, start on their rebuilding their puzzle right away, and then it's basically a battle between red and yellow at this point. So yellow was able to catch up pretty much, so they're neck and neck with Lavo. But unfortunately, Puzzle Girl is on the bench, and Lavo's going to be taking this win, and Rome is so happy. They're running back to their mat, and we see Saul fall backwards and roll over his shoulder, and he gets the mat before Gata is able to get their last piece in. So Lavo is not going back to Tribal, and Gata is. Now, do we think that this was intentional, putting the puzzle queen on the bench?
If you're talking to me, I didn't even think about that. Why would they do that? I'm not sure. But was it a hard puzzle, though? Because they could have had somebody basically, okay, I'm going to be throwing this thing, but what I want you to do is I want you to look at that puzzle, know exactly what we have to do when we get there. And, they had time to look, right? So I'm not sure if it was, the hardest puzzle to do at this point. But yeah, she was on the bench. What's that?
I don't think the puzzle was hard, just because it was all like straight edges, and it was just like a design that it had to be followed. So I thought it was an easy puzzle. I'm not sure how heavy they were. The other puzzles that she had been doing were a lot easier. But what she said in some of her exit press was that she really, really, really wanted to play, but they wanted her to sit on the bench. So I don't know if they were thinking they wanted to have people that are stronger physically, and not thinking that the puzzle might come into play here, because it was a more straightforward puzzle. I'm not sure, but she really did want to play. And with how this episode ends, I'm wondering if they were willing to take that risk, and then they'd be able to vote her out.
Maybe. Why do you think that they had Andy do the saw? Why not Sam?
Yeah, I don't know why Sam. Maybe he has PTSD for when Annika said that she didn't know how to saw correctly. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
I was asking the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe Andy was like, I'll do it. I can do it. And they're just like, okay, Andy, you can do it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would not have had that happen. I would have had Sam do that part of it.
And then they didn't even have it initially, Andy throwing. So Andy was not throwing at first to knock down the blocks. I thought that was interesting too.
Maybe people had to do certain sections to start.
I don't know. I know Sam was in there, and maybe I know that Andy came in a little bit later, but at first maybe he's tired. I'm not sure, but he wasn't throwing at first.
Yeah, maybe he was tired. Maybe, the first few throws needed to be with people that didn't do the saw. Like maybe they had things separated, but they just didn't explain those part of the rules to
Okay.
us.
Sam did
Maybe.
great on it though. He did great. He was a beast throwing that thing and knocking them down, but just a little too late.
Little too late, unfortunately. So, yes, we have Gata going to tribal council. And the irony is that Gata negotiated these eggs, but apparently they didn't leave fire back at camp, so they lose their flint and they'll have some, I guess not room temperature, but island temperature eggs. They could. Would you eat the eggs still? Like make like.
Well, Sheila and I talked about this. I said,
You
"Listen, we
guys have
get
done
back.
that
We don't
before.
have flint. Let's eat the raw eggs." I mean, can you not eat raw eggs? Is that bad for you? Sheila says that might be bad for you, but I've seen Rocky do it. Rocky used to take the eggs, put it in the glass, and chug it down. Right? They could have ate the eggs.
Do you know what though? Eating raw eggs reminds me of. Okay, actually,
No.
let's see if you guys can.
No.
Can like if you could mind warp what I'm thinking of with eating the raw egg.
I cannot imagine. So sorry. Either say it or tell us later.
It's a movie that I've seen many times, and I'm sure you both have seen many times. And if I'm not mistaken, a character on Stand By Me eats the raw egg before the pie eating contest. And then, do you remember this scene?
I remember the movie, but you were like a little kid when this movie was.
Okay, so the pie eating contest, and then remember everybody was just projectile vomiting after.
I don't remember it at all. So, I mean, I remember seeing it. That's a long time ago. I remember seeing it, but no way I could swallow a raw egg. I mean, okay.
I mean, if I knew that we're merging, I think I would. I don't know. Maybe I just.
You don't know about the raw egg.
I just don't like that consistency. Like slimy like that. Like no.
I agree. But that is an option, right? That is an option.
Yeah, and the shells.
You could eat the shells too, Sheila.
Well, they're 98% calcium.
Okay, I guess
like that. Like I said to David, you could and put a hole in the egg, drain it, mix it up with water, chug it down, take the eggshell, pulverize it into a powder, and throw that in there too, and then drink it all. I mean,
island smoothie, happy hour. That's what you're getting at the happy hour.
These guys are starving. Be resourceful. Come on.
I guess you could get some greens in there too, right?
Or maybe some coconut water in there.
Yeah. Hey, it could be something new, something could catch on. Who knows?
Get some greens in there, I'm sure. Because I got to, didn't they find like the beans or the seeds? Is that the coconut? Anyways, they're like the softer seeds, whatever, before they actually start maturing into a plant. Anyways, there was something that they could eat or something that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They don't have flint now, right? So what happens? Do they take all of the eggs? If there's a merge, do they take the eggs to everybody else, right? And now everybody's sharing the eggs, right?
I would then maybe being like, hey, everybody has their whatever, 3 eggs, 2 eggs, whatever, 4 eggs, and maybe use it as like a bartering thing, being like, hey, like I'll give you an egg if you give me your vote, or.
But no. When they go to merge, though, don't they have to just share the eggs with everybody, or do they
do whatever they want with them?
Oh, they can.
I think.
I think
that they could choose to keep the eggs if they wanted to, but that would not bode well, I would think.
Right. Okay.
So, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with the eggs.
Bottom line, what they should have done is eaten the chickens. Period.
Should have eaten the chickens, or secondly, have started a fire that morning.
Yes, absolutely.
That would have been like, if you're planning to have eggs when you come back, wouldn't it have been nice to be like, oh, the fire is ready. We could just like get those eggs on the fire right when we get back.
Well, I think that they thought that they were not going to go to tribal, so I thought they didn't think that one through.
Well, no flint for Gata, so that means no eggs. But Andy is excited about tonight because he has been.
Hold on, back up. Here's what I need to know. Andy has glasses there, so he's wearing glasses. Now he only wears it. He wore it at tribal. He's wearing it at confessions. Could he not have taken his glasses and created a fire? I mean,
I think so. They've done it in the past. I've seen them do it in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a rule that they can't do that, because I seen him wearing it at confession. I see him wearing it at tribal. Why did he not take his glasses and use that to make the fire?
Now maybe that's too new age or like old age technology, and he's like maybe they just don't even know that that's a way to do it.
Everybody knows that.
Maybe not. These people, they're just young.
Okay.
Maybe like Sam has never had a pineapple. Do you think he knows how to use his glasses to make a fire? Like you never know. Maybe also he's allowed to use his glasses for confessionals or tribal, where he's having to write things down potentially or whatever. Maybe that's the case, because we seen him with his glasses around camp. We'd have to take a look at that.
I haven't seen that.
So maybe that he's not allowed to. I know in the past people have brought on earrings like as their like item, but they were fishing lures. So maybe they're not allowed to have that or use it as a tool for fire, especially if they lose flint.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
So back at Gata, we see Andy taking accountability for him not being great at the challenge. But Annika, she thinks that the tribe will be better without Andy. She is not worried. She does not have a vote, and she is not worried at all. Kelly here says, I've heard that you could use glasses to start a fire, but I have no clue how to do it. It's basically, you'd basically be able to see how to do it. I've never actually done it myself, but you'd kind of feel with the glasses where there would be like a hot point from the sunlight, and then you put some dried things, what is it called? Coconut husks, and you start to hopefully get a little mini flame and then go for it. Are you guys going to try this at home in the backyard?
No, we're not going to. We're going to stay with the bow saw to make the fire. I mean, but why didn't they make fire with something else, or try to make fire with sticks or something? I mean, if they really wanted those eggs. Anyhow, that's another story.
I mean, you know what? Maybe they will, though, because maybe that's what they're going to try and do for the next couple of days. Because Rachel, I think, has glasses at camp.
Yes, she does.
And so, and Rachel's smart. So let's see. Maybe we're going to try this now, and we'll see. Like after this vote out, maybe.
I have done that before with glasses, and it worked.
Charmaine says mostly glass are plastic, so that wouldn't work. Is that true? Does it have to be glass?
I don't know, but
I don't know. I'm not sure if it has to be glass, but
it has to be like it's like creating a laser with the sun, like a laser, like it's all of the energies into one point, and then it creates energy. And we've done it when we were kids. We would do that at the cottage, so create fire with that. I mean, I guess in the long, that could be pretty dangerous.
Like all of a sudden you guys
create wildfires in northern Ontario, but it can be done. So it's not impossible, but maybe they can't do that. Maybe they're not allowed.
I'll try tonight, Kelly. Kelly's gonna try it.
They're all going to be out there with their glasses. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it probably is not as easy as we think here. We'll have to get Sheila to do it. I'll film it.
Oh, God, no. That was like,
social. Sheila's starting.
I'm not a pro. I'm not.
And Sheila, you got the perfect glasses to use for that, because magnified glasses would work even better.
Yeah, it intensifies that, beam for sure.
I'm excited for this. So everybody just try this. I'm gonna see if I can at least get like a hot spot. So,
hot spot on a piece of paper.
Just be careful.
On a piece of paper.
Jesus.
In the backyard.
Outside on like the wood of like my back terrace. So Sam is ready for Annika to go, and so he's talking with Sierra, and Sierra is really worried about this. She doesn't know if she could look at Annika in the eye and vote her out. But you can tell that Sam's going to get what he wants here. Did either of you have any doubts that Sam was not going to get what he wanted, even though he was saying, like, they talked about the shot in the dark, and he's like, oh, I don't want to use the shot in the dark because it would make Annie think that I've been holding information from him.
You mean the idol.
You're correct. The idol, not the shot in the dark, the one tribal idol.
Right.
And so, he kind of was also saying like he wasn't great at challenges and he's a little bit of a liability. But to me, I was like, there's no way that he's giving up Andy.
No, Andy's his man. Absolutely. But this is where they said that basically, I think it was Sierra was saying, hey, and you saw that they're running the show at that point. So they definitely are running the show, those two.
Absolutely. Annika, well, Andy feels that he is on the bottom, but he is selling himself being on the bottom, and he just really wants to work with them, and any name, he just still wants to be here and play. What are you going to say?
I thought, no, sorry, Sheila, if you're going to say something, but I thought at this point, I got a tremendous amount of respect for Andy at this point. I thought what he was doing there was just absolutely brilliant. What he did there, going to those guys and saying he's on the bottom and so forth, and what he did and the suggestions that he made, and the way that I don't know if it was editing, but the way that he said what he's going to do, and then it happened exactly the way he said he was going to do it. I got just such a tremendous amount of respect for him, because he definitely knows how to plant seeds. I mean, he definitely knows how to manipulate the internal representations of these folks. I mean, he is doing a good job with their minds, I think.
I totally agree that they really just played into his hand here. The fact that he knew and recognized that they have to give him a name. And we didn't see it, but I am almost 1,000% sure that he told Sam that they said his name as the decoy plan.
Yeah, but and they did, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but we don't know officially if he told Sam that, but likely he did. And whether Sam knows that it's just a lie vote, just hearing somebody saying that your vote is the vote that we're going to tell somebody, we saw it just doesn't go well for people. So I definitely thought that Andy orchestrated that really well. I was worried that because they were showing it playing out so perfectly, that we were going to get blindsided as the audience, being like, oh, but no, Sam didn't keep him in the end. I was worried there, but I definitely thought that his steps and his actions were excellent here.
Brilliant
Andy. Yay. Andy getting some respect at this point.
Andy's come a long way.
Yes, just a little bit of encouragement. Look what we got
from the first day implosion to mastermind.
Hey, that was probably on purpose. Now that I see what he's doing, I mean,
on purpose,
you don't think it was on purpose?
No, like I met Andy a few times, and like I think that he really was feeling that way.
Yeah.
But he's has allowed himself some time to get to know people, and this is kind of what he was saying at Tribal. Talking about how hopefully now he's starting to like build bonds with people, and people are getting to know him for who he is. And so I think that he's kind of fulfilling his like being on the outside and now starting to come into the game and play in this game. And so I think it was, now it's great for his story. So if he gets to the end, I think that if he could put it all together, like he has a winning story at this point, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, he just has to like be better at the challenges. Sorry, babe.
But like, not even, right? Because maybe at the merge, you don't want to be great at the challenges because people will want to get you out because you're a threat. So
he's playing everybody, even you.
I'll ask him. I'll be like,
he's playing even you. He's controlling everybody there, believe me.
So Tribal Council, the biggest conversation was the understanding of the word we. And so everybody thinks that they are part of the we, the plan, what we are doing. Annika hopes that she is a part of the we. Andy has a shred of hope that he's a part of the we, but I think he knows deep down that
he wants to go from a me to a we. Yes. Right now it's just a me. You know, I want to be a we.
And I like, honestly, like this Tribal, how Annika really, really, really had no idea what was going on was wild. And so when Andy goes to vote, he says, I've been burying you for the last 10 days. Here is your headstone. The goal.
He's running the show.
No idle play from Sam. And Annika is vote. So the first vote is Andy. And then Annika, and a look over from Annika. And then the last vote comes in, and it is Annika again. And she is shocked, bewildered. She didn't have a vote, so, you know, she couldn't really change anything, really. here, but Annika leads the game in a very impressive exit. I thought I really appreciated her exit.
You like that?
I like people being real about it. Like, it sucks to feel like A, be blindsided, B, think that the people that you're working together are stabbed you in the back. Like, when people are hugging people and being like, good game, like, I would be real bitter. I'm happy that she was being honest with how she felt in that moment.
Yeah,
And
that's how I would be, definitely.
I'd be so salty. So salty.
Did she say anything at the event? Because she was there, right? In the room?
Yeah, she was.
No, her cousin was there, Sheila.
Oh, the cousin. Her cousin was there in her place.
Yeah.
And so how did her cousin react?
So after obviously it happened, we all gave a lot of big cheers and like about her game, and like us podcasters, we were going up in between the commercial breaks just to do like a little bit, and so before the live event, like the recap of the episode happened, everybody was like Annika and cheer, and like we gave her a lot of support and cheers that way, and like she stood up and she bowed, and her cousin did anyways. And so, yeah, she took it in stride for sure. But before the event, the day before, so on the Tuesday, she came up to me and she was, because I do tarot predictions and astrology on another channel with this woman, Sarah, and this other girl, Kendra from last season. Mm-hmm. So we do tarot predictions and astrology. And she's like, oh my God, like, I can't wait to talk to you about the cards that you were pulling for the whole season. Like, it's been wild. It's crazy. It's like, obviously I know what happens, but like the cards that you pull were so accurate. And so
this is what Annika's saying?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. That's great.
I thought it was funny with Annika, though, when she went up there, she didn't have a vote, but she says, if I was going to vote, I'd be voting for you, Andy.
Ooh, and yes, but yeah, it was really great to hear that. And she said that after the season, if she's allowed to, she's going to come back on and talk to us about the cards that were pulled and stuff like that, and how they related to the season. So it was really fun just to hear that, like, there's some validation into like these card pulls, and we've been pretty successful so far we're just getting used to interpreting how these cards, what it means for the game of Survivor. So obviously there's going to be misinterpretations, misreads, and so when we get the read right, it's very validating. So it's kind of fun. So I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. So Taj says, I was cackling at Annika's exit. She was gagged. I liked her, but her exit was definitely entertaining. P.S. I thought she looked really pretty. She did look really pretty. Her cousin looked really pretty. Yeah, it was a great time. I didn't want to see her go, but it was a great exit.
Do most people, when they exit, I can't really remember through the seasons I've seen, do they cry usually? When they exit, there's a lot of people that cry.
Sometimes it depends on like if it was their dream that to be on the show. Like, it depends on their relationship to the show. Okay. But other people have cried for sure.
Yeah, I probably would.
I would cry, and I wouldn't be hugging anybody, and I'd be very mad.
Well, I wouldn't cry in front of them.
I'd cry in the confessional.
I'd be pissed.
She obviously, listen, Sam felt she was a threat, so she. I guess in the grand scheme, you have to take it like, okay, I was a threat, and that's why they got rid of me. So she can walk high with her head held high, knowing that she was playing a good game.
She was playing a good game.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel couldn't do much, right? So
Rachel's like deer in headlights.
Yeah, she's like, was it you? No, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything. And I wonder if now Annika wishes that she at least put her hand back in that bag for a second. Remember, she would have had the extra vote.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If she had put her hand back in. So
she totally should have.
At the end, I think it's great, though. I think it's great when she turns around and Andy's there.
No. Who was it? It was three of them.
Yeah, who was it? And Sam wanted to take credit for it, but Andy said it was the three of us. But then when she was exiting, it was kind of funny because Andy's there, bye. And she goes, nah. No.
Andy,
no.
The little Grim Reaper so far this season. Oh, well, I thought it was another excellent episode. Anything that we missed that you wanted to chat about?
No, I thought it was a great episode. I thought you did a great job here today. Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't have any final thoughts really, other than it looks like next week's going to be pretty interesting. So looking forward to that.
Yay! Well, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Most likely, Angelique will be joining me tomorrow at some point to talk to maybe play some games or something like that, talk about the event, talk about this episode, maybe in a different way. So, stay tuned for that. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so anytime that we go live that's not on our regular scheduled time, you will be notified. We didn't choose an MVP. Who is our MVP this episode?
Genevieve, of course.
Genevieve still this episode?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm getting my episodes confused.
I mean,
well, Andy did pretty good. Andy had worked hard to get to this point for this episode, and he was quite proud of himself, so he did well.
And even if it was all Sam's doing, like, the show gave him credit for it. So, like, well, I'll take Andy getting credit here for having.
I loved Andy in this. I loved when he was walking back from Tribal. He had that Rome look on him. He is smiling. He had that Rome look when he was walking back from Tribal. So yeah, absolutely, I'd say Andy too.
Yay! Someone say the veggie hot dog.
The veggie hot dog.
No, it's Andy. It's
Andy. Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Andy.
Thank you.
No, I call him Handy Andy, but he's not that handy.
He's not that handy. Less handy Andy. No handy Andy. All right, bye, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.